So I wanted to go through the regulatory drive for transparency because, as I said, it's set to tighten, and there are certain rules and regulations that if they're not in law, then they soon will be. So in 2021, the UK Competition and Markets Authority launched the Green Claims Code, and I'll talk more about the Competition and Markets Authority later, as well as the Green Claims Code. But these are specific guidelines on complying with consumer protection law when you're making green claims, and the guidelines apply to both B2C and B2B companies too. And then in 2023, the UK advertising regulator, the Advertising Standards Authority, updated its guidance on misleading environmental claims in advertising, with a specific focus on net zero and carbon neutral claims, because we know that they're very confusing to the average consumer. And then this one's a little bit more niche, but it's something for investment products, so that the Financial Conduct Authority just this year, 2024, launched some new sustainability disclosure requirements for investment products with a focus on anti-greenwashing. And then this is a big one. If you're a B2C business selling into the EU, you need to know about the EU Green Claims Directive. This is a really big one that will be coming into force in 2026 across the member states, that says that green claims must be clear, evidence-based, and backed up by a third party. And I guess I would just say it doesn't pay to wait until 2026, because already individual companies within the EU already have their own sets of rules and regulations, particularly the more kind of advanced or forward-thinking countries. So it pays to check those out if there are particular markets that you're focused on. And then what's next? Well, we don't know, but it's certainly not going to get any easier, I think, for businesses to make unsubstantiated green claims, that's for sure. So just a quick focus then on those regulators that are specifically in the UK. We've got, just on the left-hand side there, we've got the Competition and Markets Authority, which is the competition regulator in the UK. And their job is, they've got a broad remit about stamping out practices that harm competitiveness, competition in the UK, and breach consumer protection laws. And they investigate greenwashing, and they've got the power to take enforcement action and give out fines. And they published the Green Claims Code, which I will get to. And you may have seen investigations that they've conducted in the news. So recently they conducted an investigation on fast fashion retailers. So I think it was George, Boohoo and Esther, about the way that they market their so-called sustainable products. And they also just closed an investigation into Worcester Bosch about the marketing of their hydrogen ready boilers, which run on a 20% blend of hydrogen. So they have a broad remit. And then you've also got the ASA, the Advertising Standards Authority, who work closely with the CMA, but their remit is specifically related to advertising. There's what's called a CAP code, Committee of Advertising Practice Code, which is the rule book for advertising and direct marketing. And I'm just going to focus a bit more on the ASA, because you might think, oh, well, we don't advertise, perhaps that doesn't apply to us, perhaps their rules don't apply, when in fact their jurisdiction covers more than traditional advertising. And a general rule of thumb is to ask yourself, is your content that you're creating for your business directly connected to the supply or transfer of goods and services? If so, then it may be under the ASA's remit. So that includes your website copy, any commercial emails that you send out, social media, and then any leaflets and brochures, any marketing collateral that you're putting out there. So it applies to all of us. It certainly applies to us as an agency in the work that we do, and it's highly likely to apply to you as well.